So, hi everyone. Today's session we will be conducting in two languages, maybe. Uh, I will explain something in Urdu, and Jana, you must be in English, and Osama also. So, first of all, let me introduce Jana Krekic. She's an expert in translations, and she's working with Amazon sellers, seven-figure Amazon sellers, regarding content, and she will explain herself. And she's one of the largest service providers in this field. And today we invited her today to share some experience with us, with our community, because in Pakistan there are a lot of Amazon sellers and service providers unknown to whole world basically, and they are trying their best to have some place in this e-commerce field and to provide services in different marketplaces. Yana, year ago, around year ago, uh, Pakistan was not in listed countries of Amazon to sell, so we couldn't open accounts on Amazon. But now, uh, all good. We can open accounts on our passports and our details, and now a lot of people are working in UK and USA and other marketplaces. So today, first of all, we are thankful that you have joined us and gave your precious time. First of all, Jana, can you please let us know about yourself, how you started your journey, and how you are now on a place like you are in a big company and providing services to a lot of big sellers. So up to you.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much, Sajad and Osama, for having me. I One of my really good friends is Bradley Sutton from Helium 10, and I know that he went to Pakistan. It was really exciting to see his journey and how people love Helium 10. So shout out to Helium 10.
Okay.
Definitely probably one of the most favorite software company that we work with. The whole community is amazing. So I hope that this is just the first visit to Pakistan. So that was very exciting to see, and to see like how big community you guys have over there. And when it comes to me, I'm the CEO and owner of Wildly Translations, and we are the biggest Amazon dedicated translation agency out there. We work directly with Amazon. We work with 7 to 8 figure sellers, multi brands such as Nestle, National Geographics, Mattel, lots of others. They're very Ubisoft. We work with like a lot of different brands that want to expand, especially after COVID. A lot of brands that didn't even think of expansion, they have decided to do that in order to differentiate a little bit. So we've been around 3.5 years, and we have about 82 team members now. And we've grown really fast throughout the 3 years. And I'm just really happy to be here and to help people scale their businesses, because that's what we do. We help you be even more successful and increase your profit when it comes to content, keywords, ranking of everything of the good content on in all international marketplaces. We cover all global marketplaces, and I'm happy to be here and to share everything we've learned so far, answer all your questions, basically help somebody's business today and implement it, to be able to implement what I'm saying in it.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. And Yana, you are based in USA.
Yes, based in US.
Okay, so but you provide services for all marketplaces,
Yes,
Europe.
we cover basically the whole Europe, so all 8 marketplaces in Europe. We cover Canada, Mexico, Brazil. We do UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Singapore. That's it. The only thing we don't do is Australia, because Australian marketplace is kind of like more of a reserve for like Australian sellers, and we don't see a lot of people wanting to expand there. It's just it's a matter of preference. Like you can, but like we don't get any requests when it comes to Australian marketplace. Quite small, so we just decided not to build a team for the Australian marketplace.
Okay, okay, right. So where you see the potential more than any other marketplaces, like we have US, Canada, and European market, and where you see the potential is much bigger. In if we'll talk about Amazon.
Right. So it depends where you're at. Like if you are a US seller or if you are a seller selling in the US, the most logical move for you would be to move to either Mexico or Canada. So that's always a good move. What's really interesting about those listings, for instance, like also like a little thing, little maybe I'm not gonna call it a hack, but like a little tip. If you sell in the US marketplaces, you should definitely have the Spanish keywords in your backends because
Mhm.
of the Hispanic population. A lot of people don't think about that, but just imagine how big a population is in the US. I think it's like 20-30% of like Hispanic speakers in the US for sure. And
Right.
then those search volumes and the relevancy are very important. So my first tip, like for the US marketplace, is to keep the Spanish keywords, the Mexican Spanish keywords in your backend listings because they do rank as well. It will be weird to have them in their front end listing, but like keep it in the backend listings. Um, it's something similar to like the Canada strategy. So
Mhm.
like the Canadian listings can stay in the same like US English you're using. But when you have like some sort of metrics, let's say like liters or kilometers, like you have to like you don't use like them in the US. So in Canada, they use liters and kilometers. If you have anything which is like in pounds or any other metric system that's not accepted in Canada, you should change that. So this is how you localize for Canada. And also what's very important is to keep the French keywords in backends in Canada because of like the bilingual population in Canada. So French keywords in backends in Canada and Spanish keywords, that is Mexican keywords in backends in the US listings.
Oh,
And when it
right.
comes to, of course, Mexican listings, of course, you have to have them in Spanish, but yeah, there's like no other combination of languages. So Mexican listings are basically going to be Spanish.
Mhm.
Um, and also, I would also suggest to kind of try to make it like a most like a Latin American neutral because you have like different versions of Spanish. But like if you could get like a proofreader or someone who can make the listing sound most Spanish neutral, so you could like approach also other countries in South America because I think South American marketplace, like the countries over there, are going to be like the next big thing, like for Amazon as well. So I would say that's kind of a little bit like, the closest marketplace when it's selling from US are Canada and Mexico. Now, the next one, basically, if you want to expand abroad, would definitely be Germany and UK. So
Right.
marketplaces go like this, like UK, Germany, UK is the third one, and then it's basically Japan. So if you want to go to Europe, it's quite convenient because you can be part of the Pan-European program. There's like 8 countries, so you can be part of that. Unfortunately, UK is not part of the EFN network anymore. But
Yeah.
now, if you pay a lot of money, you can still get that fulfilled that way. It costs a lot of money, so it's not like a popular method nowadays. But I think it's going to change definitely, and also because of the VAT and warehouse and all of that. And then, like if you're based in UK and maybe you have like a UK based business, what I know what people do is like they would not ship it directly to Germany because it would take like about 2 months, but they would skip that and ship through Dutch, like to the Dutch VAT, what doesn't, sorry, Dutch, yeah, the Dutch entity, and then they ship it from there to Germany, and this is how you get like shipping from UK to Germany via the Netherlands in maybe basically like 2 weeks. So this is how people like skip a little bit, they work around. It's all legal, of course, but this is how you get it quicker because from what I've seen, Germany is definitely number one. German marketplace is great and has like the biggest potential. And what's very interesting about the German marketplace is that you get access to people from other countries that don't have their own Amazon. So
Right.
Lithuania, all other countries that don't have their own Amazon, they get redirected and they buy from Amazon.de, the German Amazon. So you get the access to much more people than the Germany itself. That's why this marketplace is the biggest one. And then of course we have the UK marketplace for which you have to localize your translations or your listings because the US English will not be the same as the UK English. And of
Mhm.
course, because like you call one thing diapers And if you use diapers as a keyword in the UK, you're not gonna get what you want, because diapers are not for kids; they're for adults in the
Mm.
UK. They're called nappies. Or for instance, like if you use keywords that you use in the US, for instance, like diapers changing station, if you use that in the UK, it would not mean anything because you don't have changing stations in the UK, and tons of other things. So even though it's English, it's the same language, you always have to localize it and definitely look for new keywords. So I would say, Germany and UK in Europe. Of course, there are other marketplaces, but these are like, like the biggest and the trending ones. And of course, Japan is very, very interesting, but you have to have like a good product for that marketplace. You have to have like a really good niche product, because whatever is like the best selling product on other marketplaces is highly unlikely going to be a best selling product in Germany. That's something that's kind of really interesting. And I have a little tip for, let's say, UAE marketplace. FBA works there, everything works there, US English works there, and the keywords. And the thing is like that this marketplace still hasn't had like that many products as it has the US marketplace, versus like the core, the home decor market. So Dubai and Emirates, they're basically they consist of a lot of expats, not especially nowadays, and they're always like on a hunt of like a good bargain price, because they usually rent like empty apartments, so they're like not furnished apartments. So like the home decor category, if you check it like on the UAE, it has about like 5 or 6 times less product than it is in the US. So basically this is a good category to sell in. If you are in one of those categories, UAE might be a good fit for you.
Oh, right, right. Oh, good tips. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about people? Some people do like this. They have listings in UK and they just translate it through Google Translator, and they pay copy paste all this stuff. So how it is? Why it is so necessary to translate your listing in other language professionally, understanding the whole types of keywords? Because if you will just Google, if you translate it through Google, I don't think so that Google will give you the same keyword, or it should make any sense while you will creating a listing, because keywords may be different from the what it was
Yeah,
translated in, right?
of course. Well, first thing is Google Translate doesn't have any keywords. You will not get any keywords in Google Translate or any other machine translation or anybody else that says that they're translators and they don't have any experience in Amazon. And that is because you have to use tools in order to get keywords. You have to use brand analytics, you have to use Helium 10, for instance, or some other tools, but you have to find a specific keyword that's going to be more exact term for this same product. So if you want to sell like fitness, like a smartwatch, if you just put like fitness, it doesn't mean anything. It's too broad. It's not going to lead the consumers to your product. So you have to think like, okay, if I'm a consumer, what would I type to get exactly to my product? That's the deal. So you have to think like what would lead the consumers to your product, not just like, hey, okay, this is fitness. No, like it's too broad. There's going to be tons of products, and then when you get like the honeymoon period on a new marketplace, Amazon is going to give you a lot more than you deserve. And then when they see that you're not relevant for something like fitness, that people are not clicking on your product, but their impressions, they're gonna move you on page 2, 3, and whoever. And like where to hide a dead body, it's like after page number 1, right? So like nobody will go there after that. So that's kind of really important that you do the user tools, that you do the keyword research strategy. It's really, really important, because even though you have good content, without keywords in your listing, who is going to find your product? No one, because people will type the product in order to find it. Let's say a long tail keyword, and then your product will not show up. So there's no use in that. And also remember that machine translations just give you like, they translate word by word. A lot of times it will not make any sense, and it will not have any keywords, and because it takes a lot of time and effort, and
Yeah.
you have to pay for the login to get into keywords. Why would anyone want to give that for free, right? So
Hmm.
basically this is very essential. And just imagine like if you're on a vacation and let's say you're in Spain, you don't speak Spanish, and you open Google Translate to understand what you're eating. How many times does it happen that you get like this crazy translations, right? And also, why would you want to sound like a Chinese seller selling in the US? We all know how these listings sound. You don't want to sound like that. You want to sound like something that can connect with the audience, and conveyed with the message of your brand. But the most important thing in your, let's say when you start selling in your marketplace and 6 months in that, are going to be keywords. Good keywords in your PPC campaign, good keywords in your content. Pictures, all of that, they're very important, but that is nothing if nobody can find your product. That's why you need keywords as number one.
Right, 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 Jana. Uh, Osama, I think you have some questions too to Jana, I think. So up to you, you can ask, but we can't hear you for some reasons. I think we have heavy rains today, so
Oh,
something. Yeah, let's wait for him. Let me help him out. Wait a minute. Let me. Okay. Maybe he will reconnect again. Yana, first of all, he's back. Osama, can you please ask some questions to Yana?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Go ahead.
Thank God. My internet is giving me anxiety attacks, and I think we should have another session, with Yana, because I've got a lot of questions for her. But if you guys can hear me, I need to ask Yana that I myself am an Amazon seller, and I've got a product hunting, and I want to know
I am afraid I cannot hear you. Can you hear Sajan? Oh, okay, Osama?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes.
I can.
Yes.
Okay, now we can.
No. And we lost him again.
I was asking, do you have a technique or a criteria for Amazon product hunting for private label?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a $1 million question, basically. So, what I can tell you is that, for instance, if you have I mean, there's like so many strategies when it comes to product hunting for, let's say, the US marketplace or UK marketplace. But when it comes to other marketplaces, basically, what I would suggest you to do is you should go and see the trending. You should see the keyword search frequency, because what we've seen is that, for instance, smartwatch in the US is not that popular, but Germany smartwatch is like in top 20 frequency search terms. A lot of times it's also connected with like different things. Like, for instance, like this summer, portable ACs, the little small ACs, they're like, I don't know, like 150th whatever place in the US, but they're in top 10 search terms in Germany. So that's a good product for Germany, because in Germany, like there's a, climate change and the weather is getting warmer. They don't have their ACs usually built in the buildings. So they have to reach out and find like additional things like to cool them off. So portable ACs is a golden nugget for the German marketplace. And there's like tons of products like that. You just need to compare a little bit like with brand analytics and such. Of course, also black box is also good. Like in Helium 10, I love to use that, where you can see the sales, the amount of sales, how many competitors you have. And what's really interesting, what we kind of really started to use is this tool called Data Dive. Because it also shows you like how good of a job your competition is doing when it comes to the content. And what's very interesting is that even if you have like a lot of competition, you can really beat them on level of content and good keywords. Because what we've noticed, we do about a couple of thousand products every month, and what we've noticed is that if it's in a foreign language, your competition, if they're not from that country, and you can now see that there's also like a lot of different extensions you can use to discover where the sellers are from, they're not doing a great job. So like they're like, like doing a fantastic job in the US. It doesn't mean that they're doing fantastic in Germany. So don't be afraid of your competitors, because I can show you so many examples where you will see that in 90% of cases in top niches, you can beat your competitors when it comes to keywords in your content. So there's like a couple of things that you should like, take into consideration. And we're also like working on this report that we're going to make that will show you like the percentage of like how successful you could be on a different marketplace, and if people will buy it. Like the Vox Populi is going to be probably ready in like about a month or so, but it's going to be a really good report, and it will definitely help you to choose if this new marketplace will be the right one for you or not.
Right, right. So we also have a product selection criteria here. What we
Mm-hmm.
do, we see how people launch, and which products are successfully so they are launched and they are earning some money from there, and they have good sales, good revenues. So we see what properties are there in those products, and how
Mm-hmm.
they selected them. And after that, we made a criteria like, if you have sellers more than 1500 reviews in the first page in top 10 or 15. So we have criterias like this. Some people like, I have a friend of mine, he launches the products, he say he told me that there is no criteria. If you have money, you can go
Yeah.
and get any product ranked, and you can compete with everyone. Obviously, it's all about the ranking, and you have to spend a lot of money to be on a place where others are. So okay, so next thing, Yana, can you let us know how important keywords are in a listing, when you write titles, when you write bullet points, when you write descriptions? Because formulation of these descriptions, bullet points, sometimes what people do, they write a good title, but they write maybe good keyword, oh sorry, like bullet points, but what they do in description, they write all of this stuff again. So
Mm-hmm.
what you should do to write a optimized, a good keyword filled content of their listings? Some
Mm-hmm.
tips on that.
Yeah. So I would just like to answer this. It's a really good start for my answer. So Mohammed asks, why even a good keyword or good content listing product needs PPC campaign? Is it mandatory to launch PPC at any cost? Then what will be the benefit of keyword good listing? So we're talking about two different strategies. So PPC is campaigns, that those are ads, those are bids, and it's what people click on. This is something that will like pop up for people. Listings and content, it's content that's like organic ranking, which is also very important. It's also like why you have good SEO content on your website, but then you also do Google ads. You need both. Like you can't have a listing launch or anything without PPC. You need that. So like to begin with, you need good PPC with the keywords, and you need also listings with the good content. So you need both. So basically, like how it's done is that basically you want to like maximize on different keywords. You don't want to repeat keywords. There are so many different keywords that you really don't need to repeat like 3 keywords throughout your whole listing. You have so much more opportunity to get indexed for a bunch of things. So for instance, in the beginning, like in the beginning of the title, this is where you should like put your best keywords, like the top ones that have the biggest ranking juice, like all of those, like go at the very beginning of the title. And also like what we also don't like to use in the title are commas and stuff like that. You just need a dash. Basically, that's it. Just like keyword dash, like just dash, like that's it, and you don't need any interpunction signs. And then you go on to the bullets. What's very important for the bullets is not to be too long. I mean, there's always like that, theory where like first 1,000 characters get indexed, and I would always suggest uh, not to make your bullets too long, because nobody wants to read a novel in your bullet. So basically,
Right.
you just keep it short, maybe like a 2.5 lines, and that's basically it. Like you just really want to have like 5 bullets, like super short, keeping them all with the title under 1,000 characters, and then maximizing on the keywords. If you have like, let's say, if you're selling, for instance, those diapers, it could be like the kids diapers, or the diaper bag, or like a gray diaper bag, or dimensions of the diaper bag. So those are
Right.
all different keywords, and you just need to kind of continue with them on your list, and whatever you do not repeat them, because then you would not maximize on like whoever you get like ranking for. And then if you don't have A+ content, or even if you do, you always want to do the product description and keep it in backend, because you can also get that also indexed, especially like the first two sentences if it also falls under those like 1,000 characters. So that's also important. And when it comes to backends, like what we like to do is like if there's still some good keywords you didn't use in your listing, because you don't want to like overstuff the listing so it sounds weird, or like you can always put them in backends. But what we also do is like we also like to use related search terms in backends. For instance, like if you're selling a flip flops, maybe you put like umbrella or something that's kind of related with the item, and then it can end up like being like best like bought together bundle. This is almost like can
Right.
result in. So they're like different strategies, but like this is basically what we've used, and this is what shows itself that works the most. Basically focusing on the title, like the very beginning of your title, let's say what the top 3-4 strongest keywords, and then like focusing on top 3 bullets, and then in the fifth bullet you could like maximize on the worth, maybe like made in, I don't know where it's made, or solves this problem, or like great as like a mother gift present, or something that could be like also like a seasonal keyword. So that fifth bullet is usually like left for like additional different extra things, not like the first
Right,
3 or 4 ones.
right. Amazing. Thank you. So, listing an optimized listing play a huge role while you run your PPCs, or while you are going to rank your product to get the organic sales. So, right. So we understand this one. Okay, Jana, how much people are working for you, and what is the criteria? How you select them? Why I am asking this question, because here a lot of people, they are learning Amazon stuff, they are learning
Mhm.
learn eBay stuff and something like that. They want to sell their services to other countries, and some agencies, some other entrepreneurs who are hiring a skill force. So just to understand how you hire your employees, what, on which criteria you hire those people, what they should know. So our people who are going to provide services individually, or they are going to provide services to some agencies, so they should know that they should be prepared for these kind of questions, or these kind of I think skills they should have to get some job or to provide some services.
Right. So basically what we do, like how we hire only native translators, because I've tried other people that learned the language or studied that. It didn't work, because when you put the keyword inside of the text, it uses its natural flow. And the person who's translating doesn't notice that. But your audience will notice that, and they'll be like, this sounds weird. So we
Right.
only work with native translators, which means like are German or Italian or Spanish or Mexican. And they are professional translators with background in e-commerce, and then a lot of them also have some certain Amazon knowledge. But what we do, we train them. We have like a knowledge base, and we have our own training system, so we can train them to exactly do how the strategy and everything that we think it's the things how should be done. So this is how we work. And like the upper management system is usually it's like I have our like HR team, so they handle that. But for what I think, like when it comes to anyone who wants to work for a um uh service provider agency, is that how can they contribute so that the agency grows, and what is it that you do that can make the service better. Like it's like, what value do you bring, what are your core values. And one thing that I really cannot stress enough is that you have to value yourself a lot. Like, don't say yes just because somebody pays you nothing. This is very important. Like when I first started 3 years ago, I would not quote people that how I'm supposed to, because I didn't think people would say no, and then nobody would hire our services, and then because we were new and I was afraid to quote people. And that's the worst thing you can do, because people will just abuse that, and
Right.
people would overwork you and underpay you because you're not putting a lot of worth in yourself. That is the most important thing that I can share. And that is not, do not be afraid to, if you know that you are doing a great job and you have great results, do not be afraid to put a price tag that you deserve on yourself, and not
Right.
just to say yes to have like a full-time job and work for nothing, literally.
Okay, so nice of you. Okay, here are some questions. First of all, Jana, I would like to ask a question. People who launch some products, like they always want to calculate PPC costs.
Yeah.
So how they can calculate their PPC cost? Because it's pretty difficult to understand how much he will spend on PPC while hunting that product. And second thing, they usually calculate the budgets. So how much they should have to launch in UK, how much they should have to launch for Germany, and how much they should have for USA. So any idea? I know that it's all about your product selection to know the budgets, to have those budgets. If you find out a product like with high landing costs, you should have a lot of budget for that. If you have a low cost product, that you should have less budget. But what are the average budgets for launching a product in UK and USA? Let's go for the two marketplaces.
It really depends. I mean, I cannot answer this question. It can just go like from just like $500-600, depending on, like, maybe you're selling paper cups like for coffee. It can go to like up to a couple thousand products. So it really depends on like how many products, how many variations you have. So it
Yeah,
really, I mean, I know people hate when you give this answer, but it kind of really depends, and they're like
right.
different strategies. And like what I would just gonna always recommend people is like not to ever stop with the PPC campaigns and with the money, because like once you stop, you think, oh no, this is gonna crash. You're gonna take a lot of time for you to get back in the game. So like whatever you do, just really have to plan ahead and have like a business plan and then follow it. No matter how small you start with PPC, the algorithm loves when you constantly like put it in your PPC and just gonna slowly grow. What you don't want to do is like do this and then do like stop it, or just like
Right.
put like 5,000 and like continue with like 100 as a budget. So this is not what you should do. So whatever you do, like start, better to start small and then increase over time, because the algorithm would love that, other than like starting with like crazy amounts of money and then just crashing that. That's just what I've seen in my experience, and like what I would advise people not to do.
Usually people, what they do, they are launching a product, and what they do, they spend a lot of money. They want to see their product on the first page in top 10. And what they do, they go aggressive with PPC. And after that, what happens after 2 months, when honeymoon period goes,
Yeah.
and then it product is coming down, it's just crashing down basically. So the thing is, if we start PPC, we should go slow, exact keywords with good
Yeah.
strategies of bidding,
I
and then
mean,
go
exact
higher.
and broad campaigns. I'm not gonna go into that because I don't do PPC, but like, of course, you can like, there are like certain strategies where you should do broad campaigns, where you should do exact ones, but basically you should just have the relevant keywords always. This is like what I've seen. One of the biggest problem is that people use completely irrelevant keywords in their PPC campaigns that they think that they're relevant and they're not. So.
Okay, right, right. So Usama, if you have any questions, you can join us. Usama is still, I think, uh, couldn't manage. Okay. So, Jana, I will say thank you very much for your time. And one more thing, if people from Pakistan, they are expanding their businesses, like if they are selling in USA or UK, they may go to Japan, they may go to
Mhm.
Germany, they may go to other marketplaces. So, will you be able to provide those guys services, or can they reach you to to translate their listings in German language? Most difficult, I think, and Japanese, I think, to translate
Yeah,
with
we can
keyword.
definitely yeah, we can definitely help with like any sorts of content with both keywords. We're not cheap, but we get great results. Just ask, well, like, I don't know, ask any of the Panasonic HQ brands that we've done.
Okay,
But and if you guys don't know what to do, or if you have any questions or any advice I can give you, you can always follow me on LinkedIn. You can shoot me a message over there. And I always like to share really good content when it comes to international marketplaces and some selling strategies. And once a week, I like record a video where I choose a random product, or maybe someone tells me like, hey, can you do this one? and then I do the product and I analyze the whole niche and I point out to how you can get ahead of your competitors with that exact product in that side of inside of that same niche. So maybe this would be your product, you know. So there's like a lot of like really good info, and basically you can, you know, always reach out to us. We also give you a free listing audit where we can take a look at if you have something already translated, keywords, all of that, and we tell you how to fix it and what you can do about it. So feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can go to our website, ylt-translations.com. We'll be happy to take a look and give you our best quotes.
Okay, right. So Jana, if someone has listing, have listing in English language already, he's selling, can you optimize it, or can you
Yeah,
make
we
the
can also
content
optimize
better?
the English one. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, okay, okay.
If it's good, we'll tell you it's good, because it's not always a good idea to touch a listing that's performing well.
Yeah,
So, you know,
yeah.
like we can let you know if it's good, worth touching, not. So yeah, be happy to do that.
Okay. Okay, Jana, thank you very much for your time. And I think people are loving to see this session, and hope you will come after some time with some updates. You can post in our group. You can,
Mhm.
which
Sure.
recording you are doing for LinkedIn, you can send it to us. We will post in our group so people here could follow you and
Perfect.
see and learn from you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much for joining
absolutely.
us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in another session. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच ऑल ऑफ यू। अब आपके कोई क्वेश्चंस हैं उर्दू में तो आप पूछ सकते हैं। अगर आपको कुछ समझ नहीं आई तो वो भी पूछ सकते हैं। आई विल बी हियर 10 मोर मिनट्स। देखिए इसके अंदर कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी उसने टिप्स बताई हैं विच इज़ रियली वेरी यूज़फुल, जैसे कि मुख्तलिफ लैंग्वेजेस की हैं और मुख्तलिफ और तरह की चीज़ें हैं। आई थिंक अभी हम और बहुत से लोग लेके आएंगे आपके लिए सेशंस करवाने के लिए जिसके अंदर पीपीसी के एक्सपर्ट्स आएंगे, रियल पीपीसी के एक्सपर्ट्स। इसके अलावा सोशल मीडिया मार्केटिंग के एक्सपर्ट्स, अमेज़न की ट्रैफिक लेके आने वाले एक्सपर्ट्स। आपसे रिक्वेस्ट ये है कि जब भी ये सेशंस आएँ प्लीज़ इसको जॉइन करें। ये लोग देखें आ रहे हैं इस चीज़ को देख के कि पाकिस्तान में बहुत पैशनेट लोग हैं। तो आप लोगों ने सेशंस को जॉइन करना है, इसको देखना है, क्वेश्चंस करें और इससे बेनिफिट हासिल करें, ठीक है? थैंक यू वेरी मच एवरीवन। इंशाल्लाह नेक्स्ट सेशन के साथ फिर आएंगे। जिन लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया वी आर वेरी थैंकफुल टू देम। अल्लाह हाफिज़।